Hi and welcome to the first video on my new Simply Beautiful with Emma YouTube channel. This channel is going to be my opinions, my feelings about products and about skincare and makeup and clothing, some things that I'd like to talk about and that I would like to research for you all. But I really want you guys to come back to me and tell me what you would like me to look into. Is there a product you've been really wanting to try? Is there an ingredient that you keep hearing about and you don't really understand? Is there a certain skin condition that you struggle with that you'd like me to look into for you? So I can only keep doing videos if you can keep throwing ideas at me. So I would really like you to do that. You can contact me through Facebook, Simply Beautiful with Emma. You can leave a message below this video in the comments. I'm on Instagram, Simply Beautiful with Emma. You can go to my website, www.simplybeautifulwithemma.com, and you can email me at mail@simplybeautifulwithemma.com, and all those forms of contact will be in the description box below this video. So this first video, I thought I'd start with something easy because it's me, this phone and a little tripod, and that's it. So the production values are fairly minimal at the moment, but you know, if people start watching these videos and enjoying them, then maybe I can invest in some more technology and get a bit more interactive. So this first video, it's something that I'm always looking for. This time of year, a lot of us suffer with dry lips, sore lips, chapped lips, lips that just aren't smooth. And sometimes we just veer away from lipstick and colour altogether because it doesn't wear, lipstick doesn't look good on chapped lips, or sometimes we just don't know where to start with lipstick. You go into the shops and it's completely baffling. And I'm very aware of how baffling the beauty shops can be. As a rule of thumb, items that I'm buying, unless I say otherwise, are generally going to come from Superdrug. I love Boots. I worked in a Boots store for a number of years, but I just find the process of shopping in Superdrug a little bit more straightforward. That may be because I have a working knowledge of the beauty industry, and so I like the space to be left to sort of just meander up and down the aisles. So usually, as of today, the products I'm going to be looking at, they are from Superdrug. But any other shops, I know that locally to me in Exeter, Kiko is opening a shop. Kiko is a really affordable makeup brand that a lot of people won't have heard of, but I love, and as a makeup professional I've used and loved for quite some time. I found it in Amsterdam when I travelled there recently. I think it's an Italian brand. I think I'm right in thinking it's an Italian brand, and I may well bring some products to you to introduce you to Kiko because I do love it and it's super affordable. So today, lipsticks. We're looking at lipsticks that moisturise. So what did I find? First thing I found, it's actually quite difficult to find lipsticks that are totally about, well, not totally, but focus on moisturisation and care, because there's such a focus on perfection in makeup these days that it's all about last. This will last, this will last. And also about things like gloss and shine and sheen. So more about how the lipsticks look on the face, the textures and how long they're going to last. I wanted to look, especially this time of year, at lipsticks that were especially caring. And I struggled a little bit, but I did find 3 that I really like the look of. So I'm going to show you. We have here, this is, let me check my notes. This is the Rimmel Moisture Renew. Is that right? Just check what it's called. Yes, Rimmel Moisture Renew lipstick. Okay, so we've got purpley blue packaging. We've got Rimmel written on there. We've got the Rimmel logo there. And Rimmel, get the London look. It's very much shouts about being a British brand. So here's the tube. Here's the colour that I chose, and this one is number 200, and this one is called Latino. So it's a nice soft rosy pink. So this one, Moisture Renew, claims to moisturise the lips as well as colour. Then the other one that I got, and this one is a sort of well-known one in the market, this is Colour Riche by L'Oreal. Okay, so nice gold packaging there, and this is 236, which obviously will look backwards to you, number 236, which is organza. The colour isn't really the issue, but I did get 3 different kinds of colours to try them, and this one is kind of, for me, I've got it on now, it's kind of an everyday sort of rich nude colour. So colour Riche claims to be an elixir for the lips. This one claims to be super hydrating. So that one really focuses on the moisturization. Then lastly, we have this one from Revlon. This is the Super Lustrous lipstick. Okay, we've got the black bullet with the see-through top so you can see the color inside. And this one I went for a nice sort of pinkish red color. Okay, and this one talks about moisture and hydration, and it talks about sun protection as well. So this one is claiming to do all sorts of things. I've actually shown them to you in price order. So the Rimmel was $6.49, the L'Oreal was $6.99, and the Revlon was $7.99. Now, when it came to trying them, I thought, let's go with the cheapest one first, because if I try the most expensive one, and common sense would say that maybe the most expensive one has the most rich ingredients in there, am I then going to find the other two not as good because they haven't got as expensive a formulation? So I started with the most reasonable one first, which was the Rimmel, the pink. Now, Rimmel, I did find this one had a really, I'm just gonna swatch it on my hand here, you can see a really soft, creamy feel, has quite a nice sheen to it, and it has got quite a high payoff, as in I'm hardly touching my skin, but it is leaving colour behind, because I want colour as well as I want hydration. So when this went on, it did have, I'm checking a really soft creamy feel, felt nice and soothing going on the lips. Good colour payoff, so I didn't have to keep going over the lip to get colour, because I find the more product you have to apply to get the colour, the more loss there normally is on cups and things like that. It had a rich, smooth look to my lips. My lips did feel and look really nice. The product made my lips look nourished and healthy. But it did have a light feeling. People don't always want to feel, even if a product is hydrating or moisturizing, they don't want to feel that on the skin too much. They want to be able to forget about their lipstick. And this one did have a really nice light feeling to it. Overall, I found it lasted really well. There was obviously some loss the first time I had a cup of coffee. Little tip here, if you can get away with it without looking like a, strange character, you can lick the rim of your cup or your glass. So you've got a little bit of moisture there. The lipstick doesn't stick as much. Little tip, don't burn your tongue and don't get caught doing it. I had a cheese sandwich, I think, a toasted cheese sandwich the day I tried this, and I also had some oily fish for supper because I was trying to be healthy. And there was still colour left on my lips even after that, and it was an even layer of colour. It wasn't just around the edges. And what was nice, because even though the colour was intense and quite rich and the formulation felt nice, it didn't bleed, because it looks fairly light there, but obviously when I put it on my skin, put it on my lips, which obviously are darker than my hand, it was quite an intense colour, so you wouldn't want that bleeding into the surrounding little lines and wrinkles around your lips, and it didn't do that. So overall, I was really impressed with this. Then I went for the next one in price, which was the L'Oreal, the colour Riche. This is the one that I've got on today. Different texture, much firmer texture, felt a little bit more like a crayon. Okay, so there is colour coming away, but I found that certainly on my lip, I did have to work slightly harder to build up the intensity of colour. It wasn't a kind of one slick colour, which I would say the Rimmel one was. Now, the Rimmel and the Revlon both have, the main ingredient is a ingredient that is similar to something you find in Vaseline. Vaseline isn't brilliant for long-term lip hydration or moisturization, because it does moisturize the top layers of the skin, but it doesn't last. If you have a natural product, so something like, I actually use a lip balm that's got beeswax and stuff in it, that does absorb deeper into the lips and does give you a longer lasting feeling of hydration. And actually this this L'Oreal one has castor oil coming up first on its list of ingredients. So that's a natural oil. So I certainly felt within a few minutes that this one was really moisturizing. And actually, as the day went on, my lips got more and more moisturized. It talks about being an elixir, it talks about super moisturization. And I have to say that this almost was like a treatment for my lips. I personally don't think the color lasts quite as long. It may be because this is a more natural color, not as vibrant a colour, not a colour that would necessarily stain the lips. But I do feel that the colour didn't last brilliantly. I do have to reapply this one after eating, definitely. But after a day of wearing it, by the time it got to the evening, and my lips are normally dry by the end of the day, my lips were super smooth and I could sort of, you know, big smile, big cheesy grin, and my lips did feel really, really good. So that one scored really highly with the moisturisation. Then the most expensive of the lot, wrong one, is this one from Revlon. Okay, so similar experience, first impression with the Rimmel, as in really good colour payoff. I think because it's got that relative of Vaseline as its base, the pigment is kind of really well dispersed, and you can see really rich pigment. It's a beautiful colour, by the way. The colour, as I say, isn't really relevant to the test, but lovely colour. Did have that real smooth feeling on the lip. Probably the product felt a little bit more dense than the cheaper Rimmel, but it didn't feel heavy on the lips. Lasted really nicely. Only thing I did notice after eating with this one is that as the colour sort of was taken away from the centre of my lip, I still had colour around the outside, but not such an intense sort of stain of colour as I had with the Rimmel. So, final conclusion. Really liked all three of them. Definitely all were hydrating. None of them claim to be ultra long lasting. Ultra long lasting lipsticks are something that I'm going to talk about in another video, because there is one that I particularly love in the market and I always talk about it, and I want to try some others, so I will cover that. I think if you have very dry lips, if you have chapped lips, if you have sore lips, definitely the colour Riche, because I did feel that as the day went on it was treating my lips. But I think value for money, the Rimmel was the least expensive, only by £1.50, but you know, £1.50 is £1.50. And I did feel it gave great colour, did moisturise my lips, and it did last well. So I think all in all, probably this one would have a 3 out of 3. And I think these two, probably out of these two, then I would give the Colour Riche a 2 out of 2, because it was super hydrating, not so good on keeping the colour, and the Revlon a 2 out of 2 because it was great with colour, not quite so hydrating. But I think overall the Rimmel has to win. Rimmel do shout about being a British brand. Rimmel is a British brand. It's actually owned by Coty, which is, I did look into this, because this is another video I'm going to talk about who owns who in the beauty industry. It's not a judgment. I'm not making a judgment on any companies, but I think it's really interesting for you guys to know who owns who and who owns what company. Rimmel is a British brand. It is owned by Coty, which is an American brand, who own lots of other brands, and I'll go through that another day. And Coty is owned by a German investment company. So technically, on paper, this is owned and produced by a German company, but very much under the Rimmel brand. And also it does shout about the fact that it's made in England. Now the others, I didn't look into where they were made, but certainly Rimmel is really proud of the fact that it's made in England. And obviously if you are concerned about supporting industry in this country and keeping down travel miles for your products, that is a little bonus as well. So Rimmel Moisture Renew, overall loved all three of them, but I think the Rimmel is my favourite. So hope you enjoyed this. Give me some feedback, let me know. And I think the next thing I'm going to be talking to you about in a couple of days, Revlon, when I went to buy the lipstick to try, was having a buy one, get one half price, and I'm a sucker like everybody else. And I did find, I'm going to hide it, a mascara, which they claim to be the holy grail of mascaras. And I've given it a really good test, and I'm going to tell you guys whether it is or not. Thank you, bye.